Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Dakota Williams here with another segment of What Has COVID Taught You? And joining me now is if I could be with this handsome man, I would. I tell him that all the time. He is so accomplished. When I tell you if you want your face beat well, then this is the person that you need to talk to. He's beat faces like Keisha Knight Pulliam, Steve Harvey, Marjorie Harvey, Kelly Clarkson, and the list goes on and on. Joining me now is my favorite friend, Jason McGlothin. Hey,
Hello, Chiquetta. So happy to be here with you. I'm excited.
Me too. So the question is, what has COVID taught you?
Deep breath. Okay.
Okay.
So when you initially posed the question to me, what has COVID taught me? My initial response was, taught me that I don't know shit. Excuse my French.
I love it.
And that was my very first, guttural gut response. That, it really did teach me that I don't know anything. Everything that I thought I knew just went out the door this past year. And then I thought about it some more and I said, now, wait a minute. I'm sure there are some things that I have learned during this time. So, Jason, really, what are those things? I did get back and more so kind of getting in touch with some things that I had lost touch with within myself. Like some other creative outlets that I have. And much like you showed some pictures and talked about you renovating some things in your home, that's another passion of mine and something that I have, a lot of interest in. So I also did some at-home projects and just the relief that brought me and the joy that brought me actually doing that was tremendous. And I said to myself during these things, you should really do more of this. I've learned that you could really grow your hair out if you get it braided. Just saying. Wasn't really trying to get all these locks, but now that I have them, it's like, wow. On a more serious note, I also learned that the relationships that I have, I want to be really meaningful relationships. I no longer want to entertain frivolous acquaintances. Life is too short. And again, pardon my French, but when the shit hits the fan, you need to have people around you that are really there for you, and vice versa. I want to be there for those people that I know deserve it and, will reciprocate that. I really learned that during this time of isolation and separation and stay at homeness. You have a lot of time to yourself to think and to evaluate the relationships that you have and the friendships that you have. And you spend a lot of time talking to people on the phone that you maybe hadn't talked to in a while or having longer conversations with friends because you and I have had 2, 3, 4 hour conversations on the phone.
Yes.
So, and those things that really shows you who's important to you in your life and what that really means and the importance of that. I spent a lot of time in my young life and young career trying to achieve things, personal goals that I had. And I did, I can honestly say that I reached a point where I had achieved the goals that I wanted for myself. So, and even prior to this pandemic, I had started in this process of kind of reevaluating and saying, okay, really, what's next? And what do you want now? And I still don't have it figured out. So that's why when I say to you, I realize that I don't know shit. I really don't know shit, and, at the beginning, that was very scary for me. Yeah. Don't laugh, Chiquetta, I'm serious. I don't really even cuss a lot. So for me to be saying shit in front of y'all, this is like a big deal. But I need you to get it, get it. Okay,
I get it. I'm back. I really do get what you're saying because the longer you live, you think you have life figured out until something happens and you realize, I don't have this. What I thought I knew, I do not know. So talk about some of the things that have been the most difficult. One of the things I think I've heard from a lot of people is actually being alone, particularly if you don't have a husband or a wife or children like you and I. We have dogs, but sometimes this time can feel very isolating. Have you felt that?
I have felt that, and ironically or strangely, I grew up as an only child. So alone time is something that I'm kind of used to and that oftentimes I enjoy. flip side, and very contradictory, I also enjoy company. But I'm very specific with the company that I enjoy. You know, I only like to be around the people that I like to be around, you know, and that's no shade to anybody else, but that's just the way it is. I've always been pretty private, for lack of a better word, as to the people that I really allowed really, really close to me. You know, I know lots of people and lots of people know me, but the people that I'm really close to and share with are very few and far between. And you can probably count the people that you really see me with or have seen me with over the years really closely. So, and the space that I am in, although I am comfortable being alone and used to it from being an only child for 20 years. I have a sister now that's 20 years younger than me. But but I am in a place now where I do want that special someone in my life. So there were days and times when that, you know, was and is difficult, even pre-pandemic. You know, like I said, this is some of these things have been a process that started probably about 5 years prior to today. And I think just this last year, just kind of for most people, just really, you know, compacted every emotion that you were having, good, bad, or indifferent. So like you said, the dogs, I don't know what I would have done without my dogs. And I can, after this year, I can absolutely see how dogs, pets, animals are emotional support animals, you know, because that is exactly what they offer you. You know, in a time when you are isolated and you can't even have the limited company that you may want to have, even if it's one person, you know, to have those dogs there, you know, by your side, you know, loving on you and wanting to be loved. And we have taken more walks in this neighborhood. They're probably so sick of me. But even that, because honestly, had I not have the dogs, I don't know that I really would have left my house at all a lot of days. But, you know, when you have dogs, you have to, you know, much like people who have children, you know, that makes you have to do certain things that ordinarily you may not do. So I'm very, very grateful for that company and for Harper and Bradshaw, my babies.
And let's talk about too, because you know that you spent a lot of time in Atlanta, but of course your job took you from here to Chicago and then out to LA. And I know you visited Atlanta maybe a few times, but talk about the differences in when you came back home to the belly of where all of your friends are to going back to LA where you have a smaller group of family, so to speak.
Right. My best friend, one of my closest, dearest friends, had his 50th birthday. So I surprised him and showed up. And so I was there. And to see the way Atlanta was handling this pandemic that we're in, in comparison to LA, was worlds apart. And it also showed me how powerful messaging is, because this is something that I have said to you and Eric and even my mother. I think the messaging in that area of the country, Texas included right now, which I think is completely opened up or talking about, compared to what's going on here, where they want to get rid of our governor here in California, is completely different. And it was kind of scary, but I consider Atlanta home. So for me to be there and see the city just like this, I'm thinking, what is going on here? What are y'all doing? Do y'all not know what's happening? We stayed at an Airbnb right near Piedmont Park, just a block over from Piedmont Park. And so one morning, me and another friend, Sabrina, we got up, we said we were gonna go have breakfast at the Flying Biscuit right there on the corner of 10th and Piedmont. So I'm thinking like LA, you know, you have to sit outside, tables are spaced apart. We get there, it's a line down the sidewalk, people waiting to get in, people are sitting elbow. I said, oh no, there's no way I can go in there. I cannot. I started itching. It was crazy. The mall was packed like Christmas time. I said, what, are they giving away something in here? What is happening? I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. On one hand, you know, I think about California and we're just really starting to open. I mean, I haven't been to a gym in a year because gyms have been closed. But seeing Atlanta and LA, I wonder, these are two extremes. So is there something in the middle?
And as we move forward, and we know that at some point we are going to come out of COVID and there's going to be a new normal to our lives. What do you hope that you will continue to do out of COVID that you did during COVID?
Wash my hands. things that, like washing your hands when you come in from outside, from wherever you've been, is something that when you really think about it, it's not a bad idea. I never really did that before. I wash my hands before I eat something or get, or after I use the bathroom, but just washing them as soon as you get in, or like right, just when you come in from being out, that's something that I never really thought about. And it's like, that's a really, really good practice to have just in general. That's little funny. The importance of real friends and friendships and genuine connections, and not beating myself up for connections or relationships that don't seem to click. If they don't click, let them go. They're not supposed to, for whatever reason.
So are you excited about getting back to just being able to do your work and not having to worry about the testing and the masks and all of that?
I am. I really am. I was never anti-mask, but it was one of those things that I just didn't like and still don't like. I don't like that. It's uncomfortable. It's not pretty. I am really looking forward to being able to just be back to life the way it was before this, and being able to work and not have people like afraid. This is something that I would have never imagined. I couldn't have dreamed this. I don't know if many people that could have dreamed that we would be still a year later, which is almost exactly a year right now, and we're still in the midst of it. We're still not past this thing. It's unbelievable.
True. What about dating during COVID? Because I've known some people have found love during COVID. Okay. How you're looking.
So you may be able to be with me after all. We may not have much of a choice in a minute. We're just gonna have to figure some things out. Dating has been non-existent, and again, even pre-pandemic here. And I think, and I hate to, I'm gonna trash LA for a minute, but and we've talked about this before. Even prior, I've been here now. In July, it will be 4 years. I have not been on one date. And not for nothing, I'm a pretty good catch. I'm attractive, I'm hot, I'm smart, I'm funny. I can't sing, but I know lots of good music. Dating now, just in general, is just difficult, I think, for everybody. Male, female, gay, straight. I don't think it matters. I think it's just difficult. A part of me hopes that, and people have said that once this pandemic is really over, people will be so ready to get out there. So, child, we might be in trouble when this is over, girl. Get ready. Start stretching. Most importantly for me, I think it has taught me really to just be open, and that's really, that's really the summary of everything that I really said today. And irony, some people have done really, really well, and for those people, kudos. But I think even those people that have done really well, if they think about other areas and aspects of their life, they have suffered, I'm sure, because we have been largely separated. So, like I said, it has just really taught me to be open to the possibilities of whatever, because I don't really know. Everything that I thought I knew has been, nothing that I thought I knew.
Jason McGlothin, thank you so much for being here and telling us what COVID taught you. Of course, we'll be back for another segment of what COVID has taught you. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye.